All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Make a Game. This is going to be episode 4 already. It's kind of going quick, even though we just started. Episode 4, we haven't done a whole lot, but we have made some good proof of concept progress. So, as of right now, we have the ability to walk around, which is kind of not too surprising considering that was kind of given to us for free. But I did create this little spawner here, and I have some basic enemies that just run at you, which is exactly what I wanted to kind of represent a stupid zombie. And as of right now, once there's about 10 or 11 enemies on screen or spawned, it'll stop spawning. It's not perfect. There's still some problems. Obviously, we're still very early. The gun is something that I'm eventually going to work on, but that's not going to be today. I might actually end up leaving the gun to be one of the last things I modify in the proof of concept because it isn't something that I'm interested in at the moment. I do have a few other things that I do want to work on, and in particular, I have two things that I want to accomplish in this episode. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. One, I'm basically going to be learning from scratch, and then the other thing I want to do is actually very small and won't take all that long, I don't think, anyways. And the two things are, I want to create a very basic experience system, so when you kill something, it gives you like 10 experience or something, and you'll have a level that the amount of experience it takes to level up will kind of be exponential or whatever. This is a very temporary and not fleshed out experience system, but I want to get something in place so that in the future, all I have to do is make modifications. So, I think for this episode, so I've uploaded episode 1 and 2 at this point, and because I'm like a new YouTuber and I haven't been very active in the past, I haven't actually gotten any feedback yet. So I don't have anything to implement from the feedback standpoint yet, but hopefully by the time that I have 10 or 15 episodes, somebody will have made a comment. We'll see. So for right now, I'm going to continue doing the same format that I've been doing with the time lapses, even if they're long or short. I'm hoping that with this episode, the time lapse might be a little bit longer because I'll be doing the entirety of the proof of concept HUD. Basically, I'm gonna get the health to show, the shield to show, the ammo, the experience, and the current equipped weapon. Now, I haven't really come up with a design yet. I'm still kind of working on that. I obviously am going to be taking inspiration from like the Destiny HUD, but I don't want to mimic this entirely. In fact, with Destiny, they do the health, the shield, or the overshield all in one bar here. What I want to do is maybe do like a health bar with like a blue overlay, and the blue overlay would represent the shield, so it'd be more Halo style. Halo, yeah. I want to go for like minimalistic but informative, and I have to kind of figure out how exactly I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to have the ammo be something like this, where you have like a little art of the weapon and then the ammo capacity and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do it exactly like that. I don't know if I'm going to put it on this side or this side. But as long as I can get something working, that'll be good enough for the proof of concept. I'm also only going to do one weapon right now because I'm probably not going to implement like switching weapons or even like using multiple weapons until after proof of concept, because that's a pretty standard feature that we all know how that one works. You just press Y or you press something on the number key on the PC or whatever. So in terms of proof of concept, I'm not too concerned about fleshing it out all the way. But I am going to put some effort into this. I'm going to take a couple minutes to start the research. That way I don't have lots of pauses in the video. I'm going to try and get myself started, and then I'll start recording, and then you should hopefully just see me make a lot of progress. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and hopefully you guys enjoy the little time lapse. decent progress, and it actually is probably going to end up being quite a long time lapse because it did take me a while. I decided to implement multiple things at once. So at the top you can see I take damage again, and I have a health bar to represent that. It's very placeholder, obviously. I don't care for how thick the bars are, but when it empties out, I do get a message up at the top left saying I've died. And I killed 10 of these guys, and I'm just making it give 10 experience each, and you'll see that I technically leveled up, so now I need to get 150 experience to level up again. Just 2 more, and then it's 225. So I have a very placeholder experience system now. Now I will say, I'm afraid that I'm setting this up wrong, and there's not a lot I can do right now. There are certain things that I'm doing where like it's getting a direct reference to like player 0 right here. In a multiplayer environment, I need this to be set up correctly. So I'll need another way, I'm assuming, to do this. So what's going to happen, and I'll probably do this in the next phase of development. So if I pull up this notepad here, or this OneNote, I'll probably add into here to like adapt it for multiplayer. So I'll just, if you press Control 1, it automatically makes a checkbox. So I'll just say like adapt for multiplayer, and I don't want that bold. Okay, so like get player references and stuff like that. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm basically learning on the spot everything that I'm doing right now, and this is going to be a big thing that I'm actually putting it at the top on purpose because it's probably going to be something I address very quickly when I get past the POC, because if I don't set this up properly, then it's going to be nonstop issues for later phases of development for me. And once I get past like the proof of concept phases, so this first phase and then like what I'm going to be considering the first main development phase, which is just enhancing the POC. Once I get past those, I don't want to be working on, well, let me make sure I'm saying this right. So phase 2, so I know it's numbered weird. I have like these main development phases. This is an easier look at it. And then right now I'm here. So phase 2 of this is the core mechanics. Once I get past this, I don't really want to have to touch core mechanics again. That's the whole point of all of this, is to like get the core gameplay down. This is literally just supposed to be creating like new weapons, new maps, new missions, creating the like hub space or whatever that's called, like the tower, quote unquote, just the landing spot. And then like this last phase is just to make it all look really good. So like when I consider myself done with this phase, I don't want to have to go back in, except for in like small modifications. I don't want to have to go back in here and make huge changes. You know, if I end up having to, it'll probably be because there's a good reason to. But like, I want to set this up in this phase to be as good as it can be. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of like multiplayer research in here, and to like set the foundation up. And then I didn't think about this actually when I was typing this up originally. So like I'm gonna have to create basic multiplayer here, because that is a core mechanic in my opinion. I think I have that somewhere else. I might not. We'll see. No, I don't actually see it anywhere else. So I kind of forgot about that when I was making this. I'm actually thinking. So if I change this to phase 4 and I change this to phase 5 and I move these, so I'll move this down and I'll move this up and over. If I create like a, let me copy and paste this so it'll give me a new box here. If I put this as 5, phase 3, I'll change this to like multiplayer. And this is where I'll be like create foundation for multiplayer. What the heck? It did like a weird thing. Do that. And then I'll have to like go into depth on like what that actually means. But I think this is actually a good idea. So now there are going to be 5 phases of main development, and I need to renumber these. It's a little bit of a pain, but oh well. So yeah, multiplayer is very important to get right. I don't wanna fluff the game up with these two until I have the mechanics of the game down. So, I'm tempted to still say that somewhere in here I'll do like preliminary stuff for multiplayer, which again would be like foundation, but I would be like refactor for multiplayer. Well, that's okay. If I'm doing this here, I don't need to do it again, so never mind. Alright, so that should be good, and then I'll update this on my own so it's not, and just me typing for 20 minutes. Alright, so I don't have ammo yet, and I don't have shields yet. I'm actually trying to figure out how to easily overlay it on the top here, because I want it to be like a transparent overlay thing, which I probably just have to put another progress bar on top of that. That's what these are, by the way, is progress bars. And what I am probably just going to do is put in like, I don't know, it'll be like 100 shield. So I have 100 health right now, or more like a lot less than that, but look at that. I'll just put like 100 shield, and if there's any shield, it'll take it from that first, and then it'll take health. So I will implement shield real quick, and then I will probably also implement ammo and the like weapon icon thing, and then I will I'll make the bars a little bit skinnier, and then I will be back after that. So enjoy the continuation of the time lapse. Okay, I am back from the time lapse, and I will admit that I had a few issues. The first issue I ran into was the fact that I couldn't figure out how to overlay the health on top of the health bar. Or, I said that wrong. Overlay the shield bar over the health bar. I was just trying to add like an opacity to it, but it only affected the actual like color. And then it took me a minute to figure out how to implement the shield bar in general and get it to regenerate after not getting hit for like 5 seconds, which is what it does now. So if I don't take damage for about 5 seconds, that bar will regenerate, and the technical regeneration rate right now is about 0.5 per update. So That's how fast that's regenerating. All I have to do is change that number, and I can control how slow or fast that is. So no problems there. Now, I was going to implement the ammo system as well, but I found out pretty quickly that the shooter starter example, does not include the weapon as a class basically. So it is not as easy as I was hoping. So it provides like the textures and stuff, but it doesn't actually have its own like class, which means that I can't directly tie the ammo system to it without doing some weirdness that I don't want to do. So what I've decided is I'm gonna like end the episode basically here, but next episode will be all weapons. So I will create the base weapon class that all the other weapons will use. I'll get like a starter pack from the asset store. I'm gonna look for a free one that just comes with like 4 or 5 weapons. I'm gonna give each of those their own rate of fire, their own ammo capacity, and I'm also gonna try and make it to where the hands line up with it, with the weapon properly. So we'll see how that part goes, but the important part will be just to implement the weapon properly. I'll do some research off camera about how to get started, that way I don't fumble around in the time lapses so much. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, as usual, just leave them down in the comment section and I will read them and respond to them to the best of my ability. Until next episode, guys, you have a good day.